Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I just came back from an amazing week family vacation. While I was on my vacation, a part of my ego was burnt away, and it manifested in the physical, which I'm not surprised, in me getting sunburned. So I have this sunburn rash all around my neck. Oh, it was torture. But I wanted to jump on and share that experience of that layer of ego that was burnt away. This video may be all over the place. I'm just going to just channel and allow what wants to come through to come through. I thought that I was going on a family vacation, but it turned out to be an awakening vacation because I went through so many different parts of me that I was still holding on to. I was still activated in ego, and source energy is not able to be fully grounded and embodied in this body where there's a lot of that ego energy still there blocking it off. So, boy, a lot of layers was peeled back. But let's start with the first layer of ego. I don't know if I'm going to just bulk it all in one video or break it down, but just let's see where it goes. So I'm at the resort, and that morning I get up, I went and exercised. I was vibing high. I was on cloud nine. And while I was at the gym, I asked where was the grown-up pool, because the pool that my family and I were going to, it was a lot of children and it was very loud. It wasn't calm. So he said, I know what you're looking for. Go to the bigger pool area. And in that area is more adults. And I was like, okay. He said, you'll like it over there. It's nice over there. And I said, okay. So I got back to the condo and I changed and went to the pool. So I get to the pool and I'm walking around. It was quite a few people there. And I was looking for a seat that was in the shade so I wouldn't be in so much sun. A lot of the seats were occupied. I come up on this particular seat. It was nothing there. It was under a tree. And I said, this seat is perfect. I'm going to sit here. I sat in the seat and laid back, and all of a sudden I hear this woman screaming, saying, that's my seat. Get out of my seat. You need to find you another seat. So I have my earbuds in. I'm like, is she talking to me? So I take my earbud out and she screams it some more. Miss, you in my seat. You need to find another seat. And she was hostile about it. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. So I was getting ready to move, but something inside of me said, no, you're not moving. So I looked at the lady and I said, well, listen, this seat had nothing indicating that it was occupied by anyone. It was a vacant seat. We're in a public area. No one has ownership over anything in this public space. So I told the lady, I'm not moving. This seat was empty and I have just as much right to sit in this seat as you do. And you're in the pool and I'm in the seat. I'm not moving. Oh my God. This lady jumps out of the pool, runs closer to me, and she starts screaming and cursing me out, calling me all kind of bees, telling me I'm crazy, just whatever. She just yelling and screaming and screaming. She was livid. She wanted to kill me because of that seat. So I'm sitting there just calm and I'm looking at the lady and I'm staying centered and grounded because I'm aware that this lady is having a mental episode and she's angry, but it doesn't mean that I need to take on that energy that she's projecting out. So I'm breathing and I'm staying centered, and it seems as though the more I breathe and the calmer I became, the crazier she got. So then her family started trying to hold her back. I mean, she's swinging at the air and screaming and cursing. There's children out there. It is crazy. But I still stood my ground because no, I don't have to move. I didn't do anything. And you're screaming and going crazy is not going to make me move. So the woman was getting more and more combative, and she started to enter into my personal space. I'm like, okay, you can curse, scream, do whatever you want as long as you don't come into my personal box, my personal space. So she started crossing over too close to my space. I said, okay, I have to call the authorities. I have to call the police to come and get this lady. I called the police, still staying calm. And I'm surprised. I'm just so surprised at how combative And this is an older lady. She had to be in her 60s. It was berserk. You could not believe this. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, look. So I called the police and the lady on 911 is trying to get the address. And I'm like, I don't know the address. All I know is I'm at this. I said the resort that I was at, and I said I'm at the pool that is the main pool. And I don't know where I am, but this lady is nuts. I don't know how this happened, but the police arrived within seconds. I have no idea how they found me or how they came so fast, but they did. So the police showed up and the lady's still just going crazy. And the officer is looking at me and he's saying, ma'am, how are you so calm? This lady is going crazy. And I said to the officer, well, I haven't did anything wrong. And I don't know what's wrong with that lady. You just never know what people have going on, or mental illness is real. So I don't know, but I just knew that I did not need to feed her ego. She wanted to control me. And I was like, no. Now, of course, my ego was like, oh my God, did I do something wrong? The nice person in me that was getting peeled back was squirming inside of me and wanted to know, did I do something wrong? Now, I'm sharing this story to shine awareness on staying grounded in your truth and staying centered, no matter what other people's egos are doing, and having the courage to be the villain. We were taught to be agreeable, don't ruffle anybody's feathers, and just stay nice and stay digestible. And when we do that, it requires us to abandon or betray our own truth. It also enables the people that we are having a relating experience with the opportunity to choose to release the patterns that they're in. If we feed into other people's ego and try to be nice and try to be easy and be afraid of being a villain, it creates the victim villain pattern. When we have encounters with people, you have to decide if you're going to be a mirror or a sponge. A lot of us have, especially empaths, have consciously or unconsciously chosen to be a sponge instead of a mirror. I wanted to share that story with you all because as a sovereign being, you get to choose. You can either become a sponge or a mirror. The sponge soaks up everything, all the gunk, it absorbs everything. But the mirror, it sees clearly, it reflects, but it does not retain anything. Once the reflection changes, the mirror does too. It doesn't hold on to anything. Whenever you are conversating with someone and they're projecting out anger, shame, guilt, whatever, you get to choose if you want to absorb that energy and take it back on with you, or do you want to be present as a mirror and seeing clearly what that energy is, what that person is holding, and reflect it back to them. So for instance, that lady was going nuts and I was just a still mirror. I didn't absorb her anger. I didn't absorb her energy. So all she could do is see herself. And I'm assuming as she could see her own reflection and hold her own energy, she was getting madder and angrier at herself. My reminder to you all, when you're on your job, when you are communicating with family, anybody, make the conscious decision to stay centered and grounded. Check in on yourself. See where your inner masculine is. See where your inner feminine is. Make sure you are centered and grounded and be intentional. And say to yourself, I choose to be a mirror. I choose to see clearly and retain absolutely nothing. I choose to stay present and open and grounded in this moment. Don't be attached to what people present to the mirror, because what they're holding has absolutely nothing to do with you. This is how you become untouchable. You're divine. And people have a right to be as crazy, as unconscious as they want to. You don't need to control the energy. You don't need to. Because in order to do that, you would have to bring yourself, absorb the energy, and bring yourself down to their level. But if you remain present and still and connected to your truth and connected to your own inner feminine, your inner feminine is high vibrational, beautiful, loving, and amazing. You don't need to take on their inner feminine, which may be toxic, angry, in pain. That's their energy to hold, not yours. So in every encounter, be intentional and choose presence. On every encounter that you have, check to see where is your inner masculine, because your inner masculine is going to provide the safety, the grounded energy. You feel like a mountain that can't be moved when your inner divine masculine is present. And then your inner divine feminine is present. That is your beauty. That is your happiness. That's your energy. So make sure that you're not absorbing someone else's feminine energy. Make sure that you're not losing your masculine energy due to fear, shame, or guilt, because those are the energies that people tend to play on to get you to give your masculine energy away and allow them to have full control, full access to your feminine. We have a lot going on out here. People are it's like they are walking zombies. They are not conscious at all. They are completely disconnected from the divine, and they will spaz out. But it's up to you to not be a sponge and be a mirror. When you're a mirror, you are still, you are present, and you are allowing them to hold their own energy. They can see themselves very clearly. But when you absorb and become them, they're not able to see. They're not able to be responsible for their own energy. That is what I wanted to bring home to you within this video. Be intentional with your experiences with relating with other people. Ask yourself, in this moment, what am I being? Am I being a sponge, or am I being a mirror? If you are being a sponge, your masculine energy has went hiatus, which that is fine. You just bring the energy back to yourself and release the energies that you have absorbed. So how you do that is you consciously say to yourself, but it's even better out loud, I am aware that I have absorbed, call the energy out. I have absorbed shame from this person. I observe that I have absorbed fear from this person, or stress from this person, or worry from this person. Whatever the energy is that you have absorbed, call it out. And you say to yourself, I am aware that this energy does not belong to me. I release it back to its rightful owner. And in that moment, you can feel the energies leaving from your body. It is a commitment within yourself, but you have to get to a place to where you don't feel like other masculines outside of you is better than you, or other feminines outside of you is better than you. You have to get to a place of wholeness and being secure within your own body. This is the gold mine for all of you divine feminines out there who are trying to manifest union with your divine masculine. That is how you embody union. That way your energy is no longer chasing, and it's no longer running. It's not afraid, so it's not avoiding, it's not running. It is still within you. That is what the push-pull dynamic, the runner-chaser dynamic is. You have to get to a place to where shame is not blocking you from being with your masculine or being with your feminine, thinking that something outside of you is better, or fear blocking you. So you're running from yourself. You're afraid because you don't feel safe. So you feel like a masculine outside of you can provide that safety, or a masculine outside of you can provide that protection. That is the embodiment of inner union. And this is so important. It's way deeper than manifesting a physical connection with another human being. This is how you want to navigate the world. This is how you stay in source energy, because source energy is feminine energy and masculine energy embodied as one. It's not looking outside of itself for absolutely nothing. It feels whole and complete and safe. You want a dance within your energy. And you want your masculine and your feminine to stop being a separate force of energy and become one. That's source, that's power. That is what you are here to embody in this lifetime. That is what I wanted to get around to with that story. And I know I shared quite a few nuggets within this video, and it's kind of all over the place. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. If you need any assistance in coming into union and embodying source in this physical form, my information is in the description box below.